Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course Media in Society in Pakistan. Today I am going to discuss with you blogs and the rise of social media. So in this topic I will discuss many things, but let's start it from a blogs. What does it mean by a blog? A blog is a type of a website or a part of a website. Blogs are usually maintained by an individual with regular basis. Descriptions of events or other material such as graphics or video. Entries are commonly displayed in reverse chronological order. Blogs can also be used as a verb, meaning to maintain or add content to a blog. Most blogs are interactive, it allowing visitors to leave comments and even message through each other. Many blogs provide commentary or news on a particular subject. Other functions is more personal, online diaries. A typical blog combines text, images, and links to other blogs, web pages, and other media related to its topics. The ability of readers to leave comments in an interactive format. It's also an important part of many blogs. Most blogs are primarily textual, although some focus on art, photographs, video or video blogging. It can be music or MP3 file, and audio, which is podcasting. There are different famous blog sites like blogger.com. It is also a blog.com. There are different types of blog like personal blogs, corporate and organizational blogs, by genre and by media. There is also another type which is by device. So let's talk about the personal blogs. The personal blog is it's an ongoing diary or commentary by an individual. This is also a traditional, most common blog. Personal bloggers usually take pride in their blog posts, even if their blog is never read. Blogs they are often become more than a way to just communicate. They become a way to reflect on life, or it can reflect on our works. Blogging can have a sentimental quality. Few personal blogs rise to fame and the mainstream, but some personal blogs quickly gain an extensive following. One type of personal blog referred to as a micro blog, which is extremely detailed and seeks to capture a moment in time. Some sites like such as Twitter allowing bloggers to share thoughts and feelings. You can share thoughts and feelings with friends and family, and they are much faster than emailing or writing something. The next type of blog is corporate and organizational blogs. A blog can be a private, as in most cases, or it can be for business purposes. Blogs used internally to enhance the communication and culture in a corporation, or externally for marketing, branding or public relations purposes, which is called the corporate blogs. Similar blogs for clubs, society, they are called the club blogs, or it's also called group blogs by a similar names. Typically, it's used to inform members and other interested parties of club and member activities. The next type is by genre. Some blogs focus on a particular subject, such as political blogs or travel blogs. It's also known as travelogues. House blogs, fashion blogs, Project blogs, there are different blogs used for education purposes, which is the education blogs, are classical music blogs. These there are different like two common types of genre blogs, which are the art blogs or music blogs. The fourth type of blog is by media. A blog comprising videos is called a vlog. One comprising links is called a link log. A site which containing a portfolio of sketches is called a sketch blog. Or one comprising photos, it's called a photo blog. Blogs with shorter post and mixed media types are called the tumble blogs. Blogs that are written on typewriters and then it is scanned, which is called the typecast blogs. The last type, the fifth, is by device. Blogs can also be defined by which type of device it is used to compose it. A blog written by a mobile device like mobile phone, it could be a moblog. One early blog was wearable virus webcam. It's an online shared diary of a person's personal life, combining text, video, and pictures. It is transmitted live from a wearable computer, an iTab device, to a website. This practice of semi-automated blogging with live video together with text was referred to as surveillance. There are different advantages and disadvantages of a blog. I will talk about the advantages of a blog first, then I will discuss the disadvantages of blog. One of the advantage of a blog is that blogs are easy to create and maintain. It means to set up a blog can take a little time, like 10 minutes, and it involves just 3 simple steps. The first step is to choose your blogging software, register your account, and start blogging. After creating your blog, all you are required to do is to provide as many fresh content as you can on a regular basis. The second advantage of a blog is that blogs are search engine friendly. This means that your posts and pages are automatically linked by blogs, and that enables search engines, spiders, to find, crawl, and index the blog. With the relevant keywords in your blog title, like meta tags and the URL pages, you could have your pages ranking higher in search engines. The next advantage of a blog is that blogs attract more traffic for its fresh contents. It means that readers are attracted to blogs because of its fresh, regular contents. And if, as a blogger, you are passionate about what you write about, and also the committed to provide fresh, regular contents on it. Thousands who are also passionate about that topic will on a regular basis visit your blog, and if you keep updating it regularly with new contents, you will keep them coming. The fourth advantage of a blog is that blogs allows you to interact with your consumers base, which means that blogs allows you to interact with your customers and to get their feedback. Since blog offers you the option of enabling a comment field to your post where readers can give you their feedback. The next advantage of a blog is that blogs have built-in RSS feed. So what does it mean, or what does RSS stands for. It means that really simple syndication syndicate recent posts and deliver them to various blog search engines. And when your readers subscribe to your RSS feed, it automatically delivers your recent posts to their inbox. There is another term which is form. So what does it mean by a form? An internet form or a message board. It's an online discussion site where people can hold conversation in the form of posted messages. They differ from chat rooms. That messages at least temporarily archived. Also, depending on the access level of a users or a form setup, a posted message might need to be approved by a moderator before it becomes visible. Forms have their own language. For example, a single conversation is called a thread. Depending on the form setup, users can be anonymous or have to register with the form and then subsequently log in order to post messages. Usually you don't need to have login to read existence messages. Forms are governed by a set of individuals collectively referred to as a staff made up of administrator and moderators, which are responsible for the form's conceptions, technical maintenance and policies. Most forms have a list of rules detailing the wishes, the aim, and the guidelines of the form's creator. Rules on forms usually apply to the entire user's body and often have present exceptions. Most commonly, designating a section is an exceptions. When you talk about a form, there is a structure of a form. In structure of a form, there are many things. The first is the user groups. Internally, Western style forms organized visitors and logged in members into user groups. Privileges and rights are given based on these groups. A users of the form can automatically be promoted to privileged user group based on the criteria set up by the administrator. In structure, there is another term which is the moderator. The moderator, the short form is the mod, M-O-D. These are the users or employees of the form who are granted access to the post and threads of all members for the purpose of moderating discussions and also keeping the form clean because they have access to all posts and threads in their area of responsibility. It is common for a friend of the site owner to be promoted to moderator for such a task. The next term is the administrator. The administrator, short term is admin. He manages the technical details required for running the site, such as they promote and demote members to moderator. They manage the rules and also create sections and subsections, as well as perform any database operations. Administrators, they often act as the moderators. Administrators may also make form-wide announcements or change the appearance of a form. The next is the post. A post is a user's submitted message enclosed into a block containing the user's details and the date and time it was submitted. Members are usually allowed to edit or delete their own posts. Posts are contained in threads where they appear as boxes, one after another. The first post starts the thread. This may be called the TS, which means thread starter, or it's also called the OP, which means original post. Posts that follow in the thread are meant to continue discussion about that post or respond to other replies. It is not uncommon for discussions to be derailed. There are many advantages of a form. Having a medium to high traffic form on a website, it will increase the value of it. As members of forms are very knowledgeable, they have knowledge about the topic at hand, and they will usually try to show this in their posts, thus creating lots of information and tips which visitors to your site can use. With lots of information and discussion being exchanged in your forms, the visitor will return again and again to see replies to their posts, to read others' posts, and basically to see if anything has changed. This creates a sticky website, which is what every webmaster wants. As new members join your form, your traffic will gradually grow week after week. In most forms, people who want to post have to register by giving their email address and names. This will allows you to follow up and email them in the future with information about your product or your services. They wouldn't consider as a spam because they know who are you. Forms allow you to gain credibility with your websites. Visitors, as you can reply to posts, they are looking for help, and by doing this you are letting everyone know that you are an expert on the topic of your website. So they are much more likely to buy from you if you know what you are talking about. So building relationships with your visitors is easy with forms. If you post regularly and actively discuss different topics with your form members, they can gradually you will get to know them, and more importantly they will get to know you. So what's the difference between blog and a form? Blog is yours and a form is not yours. Another difference is that blogs are like a keynote speech where the speaker or the blogger is in control of the discussion, but it allows questions and comments from the audience. Blogs are journals, often authored by one individual and sometimes a team. There is another difference, which is the forms are like social mixers, where everyone is at equal level, mailing about discussion with others. Many communication tools allow anyone to start a topic and anyone to respond to one. Members are often at equal level, and content is usually segmented by topic rather than by people. Another difference is that forms are created for discussion between several people, while blogs are mainly designed for a single user input, with possibility for other people to comment. So blogs are more like a simple home page where other people may contribute with comments, but one person rules, blog owner, which is called the blog owner, and blog owner can delete any comment he or she doesn't like. While in forms, there could be thousands of people posting topics, messages, and also adding comments. Let's come to the social media. As you all know that social media is an interactions with friends and family across long distances. It has been a concern of humans for centuries. As social animals, people have always relied on communication to strengthen their relationships with other people. When face to face discussions are impossible or inconvenient, humans have dreamed of plenty of creative solutions. There are different tools of social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp. So let's talk about the history of social media then and now. The roots, when you talk about the history, the roots of social media strike far deeper than you might imagine. Although it seems like a new trend, sites like Facebook are the natural outcome of many centuries of social media development. So the social media before 19th century, the earliest methods of communicating across great distances used written correspondence delivered by hand from one person to another. In other words, it's like letters. The earliest form of postal service dates back to 550 BC, and this primitive delivery system would become more widespread and streamlined in future centuries. In 1792, the telegraph was invented. This allowed messages to be delivered over a long distance, far faster than a horse and rider could carry them. Although telegraph messages were short, but they were a revolutionary way to convey news and information. Although no longer popular outside of drive-through banking, the phonetic post, developed in 1865, created another way for letters to be delivered quickly between recipients. So, two important discoveries happened in the last decade of the 80s: the telephone in 1890 and the radio in 1891. Both the technologies are still in use today, although the modern versions are much more sophisticated than their predecessors. Telephone lines and radio signals, they enabled people to communicate across great distances instantly, something that man had never experienced before. Let's talk about social media in the 20th century. Technology, as you all know, that technology began to change very rapidly in the 20th century. After the first supercomputers were created in the 1940s, scientists and engineers began to develop ways to create networks between those computers, and this could later lead to the birth of the internet. The earliest form of the internet were developed in the 1960s. Primitive forms of email were also developed during this time. By the 70s, networking technology had improved, and in 1979, Usenet allowed users to communicate through a virtual newsletter. Let me discuss with you social media today. After the invention of blogging, social media began to explode in popularity. Sites like MySpace and LinkedIn, they gained prominence in the early 20th century. And sites like Photo Bucket, they facilitated online photo sharing. YouTube came out in 2005, creating an entirely new way for people to communicate, and people can share with each other across great distances. By 2006, as you all know, that Facebook and Twitter both were introduced. They became available to users throughout the world. These sites remain some of the most popular social networks on the internet. Other sites like Tumblr and Pinterest, they began bumping up to fill specific social networking niches. Today, there is a tremendous variety of social networking sites, and many of them can be linked to allow cross posting. This creates an environment where users can reach the maximum number of people without sacrificing the intimacy of to person communication. We can only speculate about what the future of social networking may look in the next decade or even 100 years from now. But it seems clear that it will exist in some form for as long as humans are alive. I think it's enough for today. I will come up with a next topic soon. So take care and good luck.